منا إلا الإمام النسائي وقتلنا له بشيوخ آمين. العباد عند أرادة الحاجة وبه قال أخبرنا.
Okay, so بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبسند المتصل منا إلى الإمام النسائي رحمه الله ونفعنا الله بعلومه آمين. So al-ib'ad inda iradatil hajati. Yeah, so ib'ad, this is now to do with relieving oneself, going to toilet. Okay, so one of the adab is to be as far as possible away from other people. And the benefit of that is two things. One is it's satar, it is privacy. And the second is sounds as well. Yeah, so to stop certain sounds which come out of a person's body when they relieve themselves, so that this doesn't disturb other people, or sometimes it can affect a person's image of someone. Yeah, so these kind of things are considered. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to ib'ad, kana yub'idu fil madhab. Okay, go on.
به قال أخبرنا عمرو بن علي قال حدثنا يحيى بن سعيد قال حدثنا أبو جعفر الختمي وأمير بن يزيد قال حدثني الحارث بن فضيل وعمارة بن خزيمة بن ثابت عن عبد الرحمن بن أبي قراد قال خرجت مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى الخلاء وكان إذا أراد الحج أبعد.
Yeah, but it has come in some narrations that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told some Sahaba to put their backs like in a wall. Yeah, and behind them he relieved himself. Okay, so some certain occasions we'll say that was based on when there was difficulty going far. So sometimes at night time it'd be a bit scary. Yeah, there's someone might attack him, or there might be, something over there which you can't see. So go on.
به قال أخبرنا علي بن حجر قال أخبرنا إسماعيل عن محمد بن عمرو عن أبي سلمة عن المغيرة بن شعبة أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا ذهب المذهب أبعد.
Yeah, madhab refers to makan al-dhihab. So when he'd go to his way, أبعد يبعد, you'd go far.
قال فذهب لحاجته وهو في بعد أسفاره فقال ائتني بوضوء.
Yeah, so he went for his hajjah, and then after the hajjah, after he finished, he said to some sahaba, bring me some water. ائتني بوضوء, bring some water for wudu. فأتيته بوضوء فتوضأ, he performed wudu ومسح الخفين. So what did he do? مسح الخفين. So he wiped over the leather socks. So this is the narration of Mughira ibn Shu'bah. And if you remember in Tirmidhi when we done this, Mughira ibn Shu'bah's narrations are different from whose? Hudayfa. Yeah, so there's Hudayfa's narrations about the wiping over the socks, and there's Mughira ibn Shu'bah's. Okay, so Mughira ibn Shu'bah's narration mentions the wiping. Hudayfa's doesn't. And those are the differences, and this is what we said.
Was that the standing up in your?
Yeah, that's the one. And some of the scholars have criticized Imam Quduri for Al-Marjani. He criticized Imam Quduri for combining the two hadiths together. Yeah, so he merged the two hadith. In fact, the Mughira ibn Shu'bah hadith is this one. Okay, go on.
قال الشيخ إسماعيل هو ابن جعفر بن أبي كثير القاري الرخصة في ترك ذلك به قال.
Okay, so قال الشيخ. So قال الشيخ means referring to Imam Nasaai. Imam Nasaai says Ismail is Ibn Ja'far ibn Abi Kathir al-Qari. So remember, Imam Nasaai was a famous scholar in Rijal as well. Yeah, so he was an expert in Rijal. Okay, go on. Okay, rukhsa fi tarki dhalika meaning dispensation. In other words, you don't have to go far. So in them days, in the early days of Islam, the toilets were not built inside the homes, and it was looked down upon in the Arabs to have toilets in your homes. Yeah, and this was considered to be something for the women, and for men, it was a manly thing to go out to the toilet. And the women would sometimes, if they had in the home, but generally they'd go out in groups and do themselves. So rukhsa fi tarki dhalika, and the dispensation of leaving that. Okay, go on.
به قال حدثنا إسحاق بن إبراهيم قال أخبرنا عيسى بن يونس قال حدثنا الأعمش عن شقيق عن حذيفة قال كنت أمشي مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فانتهى.
Yeah, so this is the narration of Hudhayfa radiallahu anhu. كنت أمشي مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فانتهى إلى سباتة قوم. He walked all the way until he reached the dump site of the people. Now, remember, don't think of the dump site as what we think of a dump site. In them, the rubbish that they would have was all biodegradable. Yeah, there was no plastic in there was no, these kind of filthy things in there. And they wouldn't have excess food as well because they were relatively poor. The amount of food that they'd have in their rubbish was quite less. So their dump site was different from what we understand as a dump site. Subat taqawm fabala qa'iman. So he stood up and urinated. So see that he's brought the hadith of Hudhayfa and the hadith of, after the hadith of Mughira. So he stood up urinating. So in Tirmidhi we mentioned, what did we say about standing up and urinating? Yeah. Come in. So what did we say about
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Did you change the...
Yeah, I changed it.
Oh, you changed
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you say about standing up urinating?
If there's a need, then you can.
Yeah, if there's a need, you can. And
If you know there's not going to splash back.
it's not a splashback. It's actually considered to be makruh tanzihi. Standing up and urinating is considered to be makruh tanzihi. In other words, it's not a good thing to do. But a person wouldn't necessarily be sinful for standing up and urinating. Okay. Go on.
Technically speaking, if you could 100% avoid splashback, so you just put a bucket for sake of the question,
Yeah.
you put a bucket, would that still be tanzihi?
Yeah. The tanzihi is that this is not considered to be the adab.
Okay.
Not just the splashbacks. Because you can get splashbacks while sitting down as well.
Yeah.
So it's the adab, it's the etiquette of it. So like I said before, in Tirmidhi as well, the narration of Umar radiallahu anhu, that he did not urinate since the Prophet ﷺ told him don't urinate standing up. ما بلت بعد ذلك. That narration in Tirmidhi, even we mentioned that this narration is problematic because it's narrated, Imam Zahabi narrates that Umar radiallahu anhu and Ali radiallahu anhu and a few others were those who urinated as well. Yeah, so in other words, there's a contradiction in that narration. So that's why I said to you that this is makruh tanzihi considered to go on. Yeah, فَتَنَحَيْتُ عَنْهُ فَدَعَانِي. So then after that, I moved to one side. And then, so he could see that he was standing up and urinating. That's how far he was. Yeah, but he wasn't looking at the private area. فَدَعَانِي, he called me. One.
وكنت عند عقبيه
حتى فرغ. Yeah. كنت عند عقبيه. I was standing at his heels. That's how close he was. So like I said, why was this? So they say that this was because this was before Fajr, early Fajr time. His narration is mentioned more in detail in Muwatta, where this was in Tabuk, the Battle of Tabuk, on the way back. And it was morning time, Fajr time, and the Prophet ﷺ obviously not going to go very far because there could be enemy there as well. So he remained close by, and then when they performed the wudu and everything, he came back and he joined the Salat, and Abdurrahman ibn Auf was leading the Fajr. The Prophet ﷺ told him to stay, carry on. Okay, G.
ثم تودع ومسح على خفيه.
Yeah, ثم تودع ومسح على خفيه. So performed wudu and he wiped on his leather socks. So leather socks, the khuffayn is a specific type of sock made of leather. So he wiped over those. So the whole point of bringing this hadith is simply this: the rukhsa fi tarki dhalika. Where exactly in the hadith is the rukhsa?
In Aqibay.
Yeah, in Aqibay. Okay, Ji.
القول عند دخول الخلاء.
Okay, al-qawl in dukhuli khala meaning ad-du'a. Al-qawl referring to the dua. So it seems as though Imam Nasaai has used the word qawl, indicating towards this should be said on the tongue. You should actually say this dua. Yeah, so this is not something that you say in your heart. Al-qawlu in the dukhul khala. One. And Imam Tirmidhi says ma yaqulu idha dakhala al-khala.
به قال أخبرنا إسحاق بن إبراهيم قال أخبرنا إسماعيل عن عبد العزيز بن صهيب عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه أنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دخل الخلاء قال اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الخبث والخبائث.
Yeah, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubuthi wal khaba'ith. So we did that before. That Allahumma, this word is actually, according to the Jumhur, they say this word is from the word Ya Allah, which because of kathratul isti'mal, they cut off the Ya and they replace the Ya with the Mim. And this is something the Arabs do quite frequently. Removing letters and adding other letters indicating towards that because it's more easier to say. Ya Allahumma. So it became Allahumma. And some say no, this is actually from the Hebrew language, and it was Elohim. Yeah. So it's from Elohim, just like in the Hebrew, when it, Barisht bara Elohim, the first opening verses. Yeah, in the beginning, Elohim, Allah, God created the heavens, the skies, and the earth. So Elohim, some say it's from Elohim. So inni a'udhu bika min khubuthi wal khaba'ith. I seek refuge in you from the khubuth, male jinn, wal khaba'ith, and the female jinn. So the khabith, jama' khubuth, and khabitha, jama' khaba'ith. Now why seek refuge from them for? Because these are the things which affect a person. Yeah, they can affect a person, as in they can, put waswasa in their mind and cause them to start thinking like their wudu, the istinja hasn't been done, or splashes have gone everywhere. Or even sometimes what can happen is that this creates a barrier between you and them. Yeah, this is satru ma bayna al-insi wal jinn. Like in one narration it comes, yeah.
You said Arabs sometimes do that by dropping something and putting a meme on.
Yeah.
Are there any other examples of that?
Are there any other examples? As in, they do like take one word off and replace it with another word. Yeah, but I don't think there's any examples with meme exactly.
Okay, not necessarily with meme, just doing that then.
Yeah, you can have, like for example, no example that comes in my head. Yeah, it comes in my head already.
Not be any example of that.
Huh?
Anna in the meaning of kayfama or aynama.
It's a changing of a word like it loses some letters.
But the Umar. Umar. Does it choose
Amr. No, I don't think that would be. There are some of the examples. You know which book has these kind of things in there? There's a book by Ibn Jinni, Al-Imam Ibn Jinni. Yeah, he has a book. It's called, I think it's called Khasa'is. Something like that. So in there he mentions these kind of points. I forgot what the whole book is called. Imam Ibn Jinni. If you look at it. Yeah, so it's a Nahu book, but it's got all these data points in there. Arabs, they remove certain letters, they add certain other letters to it. Okay, go on.
النهي عن استقبال القبلة عند الحاجة.
Yeah, so nahi an istiqbal al-qibla inda al-haja. Prohibition of facing the qibla at the time of haja. The time of haja means at the time of relieving yourself.
وهي قال أخبرنا محمد بن سلمة والحارث بن مسكين قراءة عليه وأنا أسمع واللفظ له عن ابن القاسم قال حدثني مالك عن إسحاق بن عبد الله بن أبي طلحة عن رافع بن إسحاق أنه سمع أبا أيوب الأنصاري وهو بمصر يقول والله ما أدري كيف أصنع بهذه.
Okay, so وهو بمصر. مصر is غير منصرف. So Abu al-Ansari, he was in Misr. يقول والله ما أدري كيف أصنع بهذه الكرايس. So in other narration in Tirmidhi he mentions that when he went to Sham, he saw this. And the toilets were built in the direction of Makkah. So he didn't kunna nanharif. Yeah. Wa nastaghfirullah. We used to turn away from them and we used to ask Allah forgiveness. So this is possibly later on it happened when he went to Egypt as well. He found the toilets in over there built like that as well. كيف أصنع بهذه الكرائس? In other words, what should I do with these? These are facing towards the Qibla. وقد قال رسول الله إذا ذهب أحدكم الغائط أو البول, when one of you goes to relieve themselves of feces and urine, فلا يستقبل القبلة ولا يستدبرها. Shouldn't put his face towards it or the back. Yeah, and I mentioned to you guys the madhabs, the different madhabs, 7 madhabs, with regards to, should you face the Qibla or should you not? Shafi say indoors is fine. Imam Hanifa says no, absolutely not, front or back. And the Hanbalis say that if there's the ruling is to do with Imam Abu Yusuf Rahimahullah says that the ruling is to do with putting your back indoors is fine, but facing is not allowed. Okay, go on. Yeah, next.
النهي عن استدبار القبلة عند الحاجة.
Yeah, so nahi and istidbar. So the previous one was istiqbal. This is istidbar. One.
به قال أخبرنا محمد بن منصور قال حدثنا سفيان عن الزهري عن عطاء بن يزيد عن أبي أيوب رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا تستقبلوا القبلة ولا تستدبروها لغائط أو بول ولكن شرقوا أو غربوا.
Yeah, شرقوا أو غربوا. Face towards the east or face towards the west. Yeah, but don't put your back towards the Qibla. Again. G. Next.
Wasn't there an opinion you can't face east and west?
No. No, east and west. There is the opinion is you can't, like I said, put your face. The Hanafis is the most strict in this. So you can't face it, you can't put your back towards it. And the Shafis and the Zahiris, they're most lenient. Take Jabir radiallahu anhu hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he saw him just before 1 year before he passed away, and he was facing towards, and they say that was abrogated then. And the Shafis say that if it's indoors, it's fine, as long as there's some barrier between you, or there's a wall between you and the Kaaba, it's fine, no problem. And then we said some people even said, Ibn Sirin said that you can't even face towards Beit al-Maqdis. But facing east and west is fine. As long as you're not on the same latitude, yeah, then you can go on. Yeah, so this is the command of facing east and west. But who is this for though? This is for the people who are on the longitude of the people of Makkah. Yeah, so as long as you're on the longitude of the people of Makkah, you face east and west. So Medina fell north of Makkah. That's why he told them. Go on.
به قال أخبرنا يعقوب بن إبراهيم قال حدثنا غندر قال حدثنا معمر قال أخبرنا ابن شهيب عن عطاء بن يزيد عن أبي أيوب الأنصاري رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أتى أحدكم الغائط فلا يستقبل القبلة ولكن ليشرق أو ليغرب.
Yeah, so ليشرق أو ليغرب, face east or face west. One.
الرخصة في ذلك في البيوت.
So الرخصة في ذلك, so long as you're indoors, there's dispensation for it.
به قال أخبرنا قتيبة بن سعيد عن مالك عن يحيى بن سعيد عن محمد بن يحيى بن حبان عن عمه واسع بن حبان عن عبد الله بن عمر قال لقد رأيت على ظهر بيتنا فرأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على
لبنتين مستقبل بيت المقدس لحاجته. So I saw him on 2 labinas towards Masjid al-Aqsa, Beit al-Maqdis. So Beit al-Maqdis is which direction is it in from Medina? It's north, isn't it? Yes, a northerly direction. So therefore the Prophet's back was towards the Qibla. So in other words, that he's taken from there that you, as long as you're indoors, the Shafi'i position, you can put your back or you can put your front towards the Qibla, it's fine. Nothing's wrong with it. Does that make sense? But it's just the outdoor is not permissible. Okay. We'll stop there.
I think this example actually outdoors because he come in the house all the ducks too.
So because he was indoors, because when he saw him, because the houses then didn't have a roof on them, they were partly roofed. So he climbed on Hafsa radiallahu anha, his sister's roof, and he could see from part of the roof. So the question comes, how long was he looking for? He wouldn't look for that long, would he? Yeah, so how did he know exactly that he was facing that way? If he took just a glimpse. And then the other thing is that, again, this is something which we don't know exactly when this happened. What was the exact time? Did Nasakh take place of this abrogation? And this hadith actually says Bayt al-Maqdis